They say the loser might have died. A stone court, towering walls, a rubber ball that could crush a man's ribs, and a single ring suspended high above the ground. No hands, no feet, only hips, elbows, knees. But this wasn't just a game. It was war. It was sacrifice. It was religion. It was power. This was the Mayan ball game. To understand the game, we must first understand the people who played it. The Maya were not a single empire, but a constellation of city-states. Tikal, Palenque, Copan, Calakmul. From as early as 2000 BCE until the Spanish conquest in the 1500s, they flourished in present-day southern Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and parts of Honduras and El Salvador. They built soaring pyramids and palaces without metal tools. Their mathematics included the concept of zero before Europe. They created a complex calendar more accurate than the Julian, and their written language of glyphs is still being deciphered today. But beyond their science and cities, the Maya lived lives steeped in ritual and myth. The Maya lived in a world of cycles, the seasons, the stars, and the spirit. Most people were farmers, cultivating maize, beans, squash, and cacao. Daily life was guided by a rigid class system. At the top, kings and nobles. Below them, scribes, craftsmen, traders. Then farmers and laborers. Religion was everywhere. Every act from planting corn to making war was tied to divine forces. And blood, human blood, was the ultimate offering to the gods. Their pantheon was vast. Chak, the rain god. Itzamna, the god of creation. Ixchel, goddess of the moon. The Maya believed in three realms: the heavens, the mortal world, and the underworld, Xibalba. And they believed that humans had to constantly nourish the gods to maintain cosmic balance. And it's here, in myth and belief, that the ball game begins. The game was not just entertainment, it was cosmology made real. According to the Popol Vuh, the sacred book of the Quiché Maya, the hero twins, Hunahpu and Ixbalanque, played ball so loudly they angered the gods of the underworld. They were summoned to Xibalba, where they faced trials, trickery, and death. But the twins outwitted the gods, defeating them and bringing light back to the world. Every time the Maya played, they reenacted this myth: life versus death, order versus chaos. The ball game was more than sport. It was theater, ritual, a gateway to the divine. Over 1,300 ball courts have been discovered across the Maya world, some modest, others colossal. The Great Ball Court at Chichén Itzá is 545 feet long, larger than a modern football field. 2 teams, 2 sloped walls, a ring high above the ground, and 1 solid rubber ball, sometimes 9 pounds, sometimes even heavier. Players wore thick padding on their hips, chest, and knees. They hit the ball with their bodies, trying to keep it in motion, and in some versions, score by passing it through the stone hoop. Rules varied. Sometimes you could use only your hips. Other times, elbows or knees were allowed. In many versions, the goal wasn't just to win, it was to survive. This is where myth meets reality. In elite games, sometimes the losers were sacrificed. Skull carvings and murals show beheadings. Sometimes a decapitated head becomes the ball itself in symbolic art. But here's the twist. Some scholars argue that the winners were sacrificed instead, because they were the best, the strongest, the most honorable. In Maya belief, to be sacrificed was not a punishment. It was transcendence, a fast track to the heavens. Ritual bloodletting was common even outside the ball court. Kings would pierce their tongues or genitals with stingray spines. Queens drew blood from their tongues to summon visions. The ball court was another altar. Beyond religion, the game was a political spectacle. Rulers used it to display dominance, to humiliate rival cities, to turn captured kings into sacrifices. Imagine a visiting dignitary forced to play, defeated before thousands, then led to the altar. The ball game was spectacle, diplomacy, and execution rolled into one. It was how city-states settled disputes without war, or used war to feed the game. When the Spanish arrived, they didn't understand the game, or chose not to. They banned it, smashed the courts, silenced the myth, but the memory never died. In parts of Mexico and Central America, descendants of the Maya still play versions of the game. Today it's called ulama, played with rubber balls, for pride, for culture. It no longer ends in death, but it still echoes with history. The Mayan ball game wasn't just about winning. It was about proving your worth before gods and kings, a cosmic duel, a blood-soaked performance, a game where the cost of losing was your life. When they played, they weren't chasing victory, they were chasing eternity.